Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you all to be here and witnessing the inauguration of Artiverse. So, myself, I'm Dr. Madhuri. I am the head of art education in Orchids. So, we have dance, music, theatre, visual art, pottery, and textile. Now, the reason why we have started this Artiverse platform or a domain for the students is to give exposure to the students out of the school also. It is super important nowadays, as per the National Education Policy 2020, that the students should get exposure not only to scholastic subjects, but they should get a holistic approach integrating with multidisciplinary aspects of the subjects. What is that now? We say that in school they have to study, they have to practice, and it gets limited with the school. Now, when we talk about personality grooming, when we talk about going beyond and learning, the best platform for the student is to come out of the school and get exposure to n number of competitions and platforms. And this is where we thought we should come up with all the schools, not only restricted with Orchids, because such kind of dance, music, theatre, art, pottery, textile, students don't get exposure on a larger scale in the school. You know, they need to go out and get exposure, compete with people around, groom themselves, take the challenges and become confident. These subjects are not taught like a normal maths and science. You have to go out of the school to compete, to understand your challenges, your pluses, your skills, and that's how the students will groom themselves. You all will agree nowadays what is important is speaking and confidence. That is public speaking and confidence. And this is only possible when the child gets exposure outside the school, gets exposure for more competitions and more such platforms where the child will think of creativity, will think of team building, will think of personality grooming, will think of all the creative aspects to make himself confident. And that's where in Orchids we make a curriculum in arts in the same way. Second thing what we felt is nowadays people are very much into scholastic competitions, scholastic exposure. Now we wanted to go it broader and we thought that our students should get exposure in terms of grooming, in terms of personality, and that's why I think I'm very grateful to Harsh who has come up with various programs in Orchids and for non-Orchid students. Previously it was Go Cosmo, which was a very hit program, and now we have come up with Artiverse, which is related with arts. Okay, now if you look at pottery and textile, which is a unique way of learning, focusing on meditation and one skill, that is eye-hand coordination skill, patience. This is only possible through our pottery and textile, which is an ancient and traditional culture which we have in India. And that's where we thought, taking NEP 2020 into consideration, we thought why not bring this particular thing in Orchids and also give exposure to the non-Orchids via Artiverse, which we have introduced. Today in Artiverse and for 3 days and across Pan India when it is going to go ahead, all the non-Orchid students will get exposure to pottery, to textile and the art which we talk about. Okay, so this is what actually I would wanted to talk about Artiverse. So let everyone who's outside, who's non-Orchid students, to come and have the exposure of this platform. Also have the exposure of pottery and textile, which is a unique way to learn the Indian tradition, and also to have a control over to the personality, because it's very hard to tell the child to meditate. It's very hard to tell the child to focus on one aspect and to be patient. I think pottery and our Indian culture traditional, that is textile, is the best way for this kind of activities. So that's it, what I would like to talk about Artiverse. So thank you very much.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇವ್ರು ಏನು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದರು ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಕನ್ನಡದಳು ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೋ ಬೈ ಮೈ ಕನ್ನಡ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಮೊದಲನೇ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ NEP 2020 ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಪಾಲಿಸಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಂತಹ ಕೆಲವು ದಿ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್. ನಾವು ಶಾಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್, ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೋದೇ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್, ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್, ಆರ್ಟ್, ಈ ಮೂರರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಡಾಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರು. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆರ್ಕಿಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದಾಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕಲಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಆದಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಕಲ್ತಿರುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮೇಜರಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಒಂದು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರೋದು. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಈ ಆರ್ಟಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ಹರ್ಷ್ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇದು ಕೇವಲ ಆರ್ಕಿಡ್ಸ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೀಮಿತವಾಗಿರಬಾರ್ದು. ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ನ ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ನಲ್ಲೂ ಇರುವಂಥ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ನ ನಾವು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಮಗುಗೂ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಕಲ್ಪಿಸೋದೇ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಯಾಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮೋರ್ ಆರ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಶಾಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಕಲೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಡು ದೇ ಗೆಟ್ ಟು ನೋ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಈ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಡೀಸಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ನಮಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಸಹ ಕಲಿಬೋದು, ನಾನು ಸಹ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕಲಿತ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಗಬಹುದು. ಇದನ್ನು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಒಂದು ದಾರಿ ದೀಪವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ತೋರಿಸೋದಕ್ಕಾಗೋದು. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ಟಿವರ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟೆಡ್. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಸಾಧಾರಣವಾಗಿ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬೇಕು, ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಎರಡೇ. ಒಂದು ಟೀಚರ್ ಗುರ್ತಿಸೋದು, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗುರ್ತಿಸೋದು. ನಾವು ಟೀಚರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಗುರ್ತಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಗುರ್ತಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಮಗು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದಾಗ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸಿಗೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಓ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಗುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಲೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ವಿಷಯನ ನನ್ನ ಮಗುವಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನೇ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಒಂದು ಮಗುವಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದ ಟೀಚರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಅವರೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದಾರಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಗು ತಾನಾಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಬದುಕನ್ನು ಹುಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೊಂದು ಈವೆಂಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
One and all present here. So this is actually I have to welcome you all for our Artiverse event. It is event which we are conducting for showcasing the talent of our own children as well as like students of non-artists also. So why are we focusing on art especially? Because you have seen our Go Cosmo event which was completely into like technology, STEM education, astronaut and something different. And right now we are going with art. The reason is it's well known, our Indian culture if you take out, it is always blended with art, culture and heritage. So it is education system, otherwise our institutions' responsibility to penetrate the essence of art into the students' mind. So that's most important thing which is required for this current situation. So our curriculum, if you are taking out, it will be always blended with art. And even as ma'am said, like it is in 2020, NEP has come out and they were focusing on taking out this art as a tool to educate main subjects. So art integrated learning. Yeah. So ultimate goal of art integrated learning is to make the learning happy. So joyful learning is the second concept of NEP. So our prime focus is bringing these two concepts in our curriculum, and we have prepared our curriculum where it is blended with complete art. Through art we are taking to the students, we are teaching all the concepts which is completely difficult for students. For example, if you are taking some students who will be very good at math, some of them will be very good at science, but few students may be having a struggle in understanding math as well as like science. So when these topics, this subject which is tough for the children, if you are going to teach through their art form, surely children will take it up easily. So that is the reason we are actually focusing on art forms. So in our curriculum, if you see, like the schools you have seen, some schools will be branded for their own academic structures and academics branding. Some schools will be showcasing based on their sports and their talents and achievements in the sports. Whereas our kids, if you take out, so we have our children equally distributed in academics, sports as well as art form, performing arts also. So we have an exclusively dedicated department for this headed by Dr. Madhuri ma'am, and we have a team who have actually prepared the curriculum exclusively, like age appropriate curriculum is there. Based on that, children will be nourished to learn the art. Through art, our main core subjects are taught in the classrooms. So our kids' main focus is on integrating art into our main core subjects. So that is how we have planned. And this Artiverse is actually to showcase our students' talent, what they have learned in their performing art subjects, as well as like we want the parent as well as the world should understand what our kids is really doing with this performing art department. So this particular event will go for next 3 days. I expect all of you to be there, and you have to be a part of this event. And please inform the non-ARCID students also to come and participate in this, because they should understand the value of our Indian culture. That is the ultimate goal of us. Thank you all.
Twice before, if I remember correctly. Last year, in September, we had started off at Orchids, our endeavor, our tryst with sports. So, I think most of you have met you when Baichung Bhutia was visiting our campus. We started a series of master classes wherein our students started coaching with some of the legends in their fields. Not only did our students get benefit from that, we also invited students from other schools to come and participate without any charges. This year in May, we started our second endeavor. The first endeavor was in sports. The second endeavor was aimed at science. We took astronomy, crafted it into an event. Go Cosmo was the name, and it went on to become India's biggest science fest for kids. Again, it was open to all students across, irrespective of the schools they were studying in. And although our schools have astronomy labs, our schools have state-of-the-art STEM labs, we ensured that students of other schools did not feel deprived. Coming to why we are here today, Artiverse is a celebration of arts. I don't know whether you are aware, we have something called an Imagine Hub, where we have state-of-the-art labs in 9 categories. We have weaving labs. A small part of that you will see in the event here. We have pottery labs. You will see a part of that outside. We have art labs. You will see a part of that outside. We are going to be having theatre competitions and workshops. You will see a part of that outside. All the 9 flavors in which we serve art in our schools for our students. Of course, our students will be participating in that, but other school students are also welcome and they are coming in. So Artiverse is a celebration of arts intended to incite the spark of what? Talent. I'll say creativity, because most of us, when we were growing up, were measured by our parents in how good we were in maths or science. Engineer banega ki doctor. Those were the only 2 criteria. We at Orchids are showing the way forward. You could be a champion, not just in maths or science. You could be a champion in football. You could be a champion in science. You could be a champion in arts, in visual arts, in performing arts, the works. Happy to announce that this year we have changed our punchline also at Orchids. We've started calling ourselves House of Every Kind of Champion. So here, if a child wants to pursue any stream he can think of, it is available. Coming back to Artiverse, welcome to Artiverse. You are witnessing history, because this is going to become one of India's biggest art fest for kids. This is the first Artiverse event happening in Bangalore. Next month onwards, we are taking it across India. Thank you so much for coming.
It's a good opportunity to tell those parents, basically, the mindset which I come across and I see parents, still parents are into, oh, I can send the child to science Olympiad, or I can send the child for a math thing outside. But now we need to change the perspective. That's what I want to tell all the parents around, that your child will get into creativity and will become a strong person, provided you change the mindset of sending the students outside for dance, for music, for theatre, which is not happening to that extent. People think twice, parents think twice. Do I send my child to Pune? Can I send to for dance? No. But if it is maths, English or science, parent will be the first one to send the child over there. This mindset and the trend needs to change now. The child will become strong, as we all said. Creativity needs to be, groomed, and it has to be indrilled. Platform needs to be given, and it cannot be given in a 4 classroom wall. It has to be beyond the class. Okay, so please, it's a request to all the parents who are watching us. RTWest, Go Cosmo, these platforms are for the students coming from any city, any state, and it has to be taken seriously because it adds value to the child's personality. So that's what the request I wanted to do all the parents over who will be watching us. So thank you very much.
Divya?